Hello, once again, and welcome along to the latest YouTube production here at andyholdingspeedfigures.co.uk with a look back at the action from last week, June the 21st to June the 27th, and taking a look at some of the best speed figures that we had and we produced. The first of them came on last Wednesday on the all-weather when Lankaran won one of the qualifiers for the London series over a mile. He'd been a bit disappointing prior to his trip to the Sunbury venue, but with the gelding operation safely behind him, he turned in quite a sparkling performance. He came from a long, long way back to get up in the final stage. He's clocking a time figure of 98, which is very healthy for a race of that nature. So we suggest Lankaran, when he gets a similar surface, he's now 2 for 2 on an all-weather surface, is one to keep on side. Over at Carlisle on the same afternoon, Lady Lade was quite impressive in the first race of the day for 2-year-olds. She'd been a bit green first time out at the same track when she only finished 5th of the 10 runners. But with that experience behind her, a better draw and faster ground, she turned in quite a decent effort on the clock, clocking an 88, which is fairly good time for the youngsters. And she looks a filly going places based on that effort. I'm not sure where she's going to go next, but I'd suggest a step up in class. Wouldn't be out of the question for Lady Lade. Skipping on to the next day, and Akaringa is another horse that we suggest you keep on the right side of. Stuart Williams' charge, having won the time before at Doncaster, took the step up in grade in his stride, clocking again another good time figure, 91 on our time figures. Not off the charts, but certainly a number worth note. And it's more the style more than anything else. I like the way he quickened up from 3 out. He got 34 dead from that point to the line. I thought he won with a bit in hand. The handicap was actually only raised in £4 subsequently, which looks very, very lenient to me. Although, ironically, it might not be high enough to get him into the valuable 6 furlong handicap, which Stuart Williams and Connections muted at in the post-race interview. So that could be a little bit of a disappointment. But either way, Akaringa is a horse to note and keep on side. Moving towards the weekend, and Chester saw a good card on Friday night. And the first race on the card was won by Alminor in very smooth fashion. Whether he actually would have won as comfortably as he did had Sir Maximilian got a clear run, is open to question. But either way, he jumped out, made all the running, hugged the rails, and maintained a seriously strong gallop all the way through the line. He clocked a 98, which again is very healthy for the grade. And as you can see by his overall profile, going left-handed on a decent surface, ran a sharp track, is very much Alminor's bag. So he's one to keep on side when he has those conditions in the future. Moving on to the weekend, and Hurricane Lane, as you can imagine, clocked a very big time figure when he won the Irish Derby. He put behind him, I wouldn't say a disappointing run in the Derby, because he did finish third to Stable Companion Adyar, but he was very much the first string for the Godolphin team that day. And he's gone on to prove at the Curragh that he's probably still the number one for the boys in blue. Obviously, Adyar now goes to the King George, and with Hurricane Lane's stamina very much his key component, one would imagine that Connections will be looking maybe towards the St Ledger further down the line. Glorious Journey clocked a good number, 95 at Newmarket on Saturday. He's very much a 7 furlong specialist. I don't think he's ever run beyond 7 furlongs in about the last 2 years. So he's kind of like races he can run in are fairly limited, but in Group 3 stroke Group company, either here or abroad, Glorious Journey is a very useful individual for Sheikh Mohammed. And the final one is Century Dream. I clocked the fastest time of the week, 100. We got him clocking when he won at Windsor, one of their big listed races. He did it in typically gritty fashion, and he took advantage of a drop down in class. Obviously, the time before he was outpointed at the Queen Anne at Royal Ascot. That was just a bridge too far for him in Grade 1 grade or Group 1 grade, but the listed race is very much his cup of tea nowadays. So Simon and Ed Crisford's Century Dream rounds off our whistle-stop tour of all the fast time figures for farm last week. So just a quick recap: Lankaran and Lady Lade, I beg your pardon, from the 23rd were 2 horses to keep on side. Akaringa, who clocked a 91 at Newmarket, I think he's a horse going very much in the right direction. Alminor with a 98 at Chester. Hurricane Lane with his 96 in the Irish Derby. Very much one of the best 3-year-olds we've seen so far in the 1.5 mile category. And then finally, Glorious Journey with a 93, 95, and Central Dream with 100 at Windsor on Saturday. Okay, thanks very much for tuning into this latest production of the Andy Holding Weekly Blog. Hopefully we can have your company again next week when I'll take a look at all the best action from this coming week. Until then, it's bye from me for now.